sound on things. It'll be fine.
So welcome to another episode of the Women Petpreneurs podcast with your host, Mary Oquendo. So my guest today is Meg Iofreddo, who I've known for a while. And there's a couple of reasons that I wanted to bring her on today. Second one we'll get to, but I want to start off first with we just did a summit on Plan B's, life after grooming, because you know what? Maybe we don't want to do this until our bodies. Maybe we do. You know what?
82 and grooming still, we die at the table.
Me personally, that is not a life goal for me. So
no.
I know you're starting now to you're starting your teaching career.
Yes, indeed.
And Meg has already done several workshops for positive educational training. Right. And she's also going to be doing the branding and marketing summit. I think that's in February.
It is indeed. It is late February, I believe, around the 25th and 26th, maybe. I don't have a calendar in front of me.
Towards the end of February.
Yes.
And she's going to be doing her 4-hour program, which I'm really excited about watching, because I don't know if you've seen it or not, Meg, but I made 2 reels. Did you not see
Oh my gosh, I am so proud of you. I'm going to have to go look. I've been busy working this week. But good job.
Yeah. It's probably going to be one of those things that I'll talk about later and use as an example of,
what not to do.
Of just getting out of your own way and doing it.
Well, yeah, just do it. It's okay if it's not like perfect. Like once you do it, you learn and you can tweak and so on and so forth.
And I also posted them on YouTube. So on at least the numbers on YouTube, the first one I did got 76 views.
Ooh.
But the second one got almost 300.
Okay. Where are the balloons coming from?
I don't know where the balloons are coming from. Oh my God.
Happy belated birthday. Maybe that's why Zoom knows. Is this the first time you've used Zoom since your birthday? Maybe? I don't know.
It's the first time I used Zoom since my birthday. I have no idea. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you guys just got a treat. If not,
you're like, what the heck?
What the hell? Apparently there's balloons. We'll see what else happens on on Zoom here. But anyway, okay. So
anyways, I want to plug your program though, because that 4-part masterclass was created during and after taking Mary's Create That program. So I just got to say, I maybe could have gotten to that point with like 10 years of forgetting and not keeping me on track. But Mary kept me on track, dragged me kicking and screaming. But I now have a 4-part masterclass. So
yes. And like I said, I'm very excited about watching that. I said, maybe I might get some tips on how to do
there you go.
Okay. So we'll see. I do think the second reel is better than the first one.
I'll watch both.
But you'll have to let me know, and you can critique it. However, I am not 100% certain that I'm really going to. It's not like I'm going to be upset about it or anything like that. And I just write notes so that when someone says, well, I can't do it, I don't know how to do it. Well, let me show you.
Right.
What some of the early stuff I did.
Exactly.
I guarantee you it'll make yourself feel better.
Exactly. And you just got to do it. Planning is okay, but sometimes you just got to do it, and it's fine. We all start somewhere.
Okay. So I know you've been teaching at the Meditative Grooming Academy.
Yes. My 4-part masterclass is actually built into their programs. So like the Seed, which is the bather program, has the first part, and then the second program has the second part, so on and so forth. So I've been doing that just like Zoom webinar style.
Okay, cool. It's nice to see another a good quality grooming school out there.
Yes. So I'm so happy about that.
Yeah, I'm really proud of Stephanie, and I know how much work went into that.
Oh yeah, and how much work is still going into it.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
also another plug for Mary's Create That program, because that is how Stephanie came to the school, the Meditative Groomer Academy. So
So I'm really proud, and I know both of you. I really had to like get all caveman on you guys and like
I
drag you by
know,
your hair.
I know, yeah. But it's because we're like, because we're neurodivergent, Mary. It's like herding cats. But hey, look, we did the thing,
You
and
did
we're
the
still
thing.
doing the thing. We're still doing the thing.
So
We're going to
for
add new
that,
programs. It's going to be great.
good. I'm so like I said, I've been watching the website. I've been watching when Stephanie puts some stuff out there, and so you
Mhm.
also have a podcast.
Indeed, we Stephanie Calhoun and I are the two voices of Grooming on the Spectrum, which has an accompanying like Facebook little community support group, um, which we created as just kind of a haven for neurodiverse pet groomers, but also too like anybody is allowed to join. I have a couple friends in there who are neurodiverse but aren't actually groomers, because we go through a lot of different topics, and it's a really good informative kind of, and we're kind of unhinged when you get us together, so it's kind of funny too, if I do say so myself.
All right, so I know that our industry attracts a higher number than the general population as far
Absolutely.
as the neurodiverse community. What are some of the challenges then that you face?
Well, let me talk about kind of like the ADD, family ADD, ADHD. A lot of the things that, I mean, affects me in my own life, but also like my grooming life. Um, there's time blindness, for example. I can get lost in a haircut. I can't develop a routine, so I don't do this paw, back leg, front leg, or whatever routines don't happen. I just kind of bounce around and get it done, but I can also get really lost in it and not realize how much time is going by. Object permanence, which is something that affects Stephanie a lot, and the way she's combated that in the school is awesome. So with object permanence, it's literally like out of sight, out of mind. So, and it can happen with people too. It's the craziest thing. So if I haven't talked to someone in a while, I literally forget about that person. And it's nothing to do with them. I love them. It's nothing like that. It's just I haven't seen their name, so it's gone. So in her bathing area, all of her products can be seen. Every single shampoo, conditioner, mud mask, facial, everything is visible and clearly labeled, because if they were behind closed shelves, they wouldn't get touched. Let's see. I feel like, I don't know, attention. Usually with ADD, it's a lot of attention deficit, but I find that when I'm grooming, I can get really focused. And again, that's where I kind of get lost in a haircut, because I'm hyper focused on, and this kind of perfectionism, I guess, a little bit too. Um, but yeah, but you said it, this industry attracts a lot more. I think we enjoy being around animals a lot. Um, because the communication is like straightforward. Animals don't have like double entendres. They don't have inferred meanings. There's no like read between the lines. So the communication is super direct, which is really easy for us to understand. So yeah, there's
Okay,
probably more, but
I'm sure
my
there's probably
memory.
more. You know, and so how you've overcome some of these challenges then?
So like Stephanie's done is keeping things, you know, in sight. Like don't hide things in drawers. Everything is out in the open to see. Um, as for like people, I every so often I try like a day a month. I'll like scroll through my text message conversations and the people I haven't spoken to in a while. Try to like just say, hey, how you doing? Hope everything's well. Or, I don't know, just something. If it sparks a conversation, great. If it doesn't, fine. Um, just kind of realizing that a lot of acceptance, just realizing now that, okay, my brain works differently. That's okay. I don't need to guilt myself. I don't need to feel bad because I don't necessarily act or react like another person. And in fact, I now just embrace that. And if that means I'm going to get down on the floor and baby talk the dog, instead of say hi to the person. Granted, they usually love that. They love when you talk to the dog before them.
All right. How do you deal with just people that tell you just to suck it up and get on with your life, do your
I mean,
job?
honestly, those people don't stay in my life.
Okay.
So I don't really have like a really, I guess, okay, so I'm very much like if someone isn't, I guess I just don't really attract those people. Um, but if I were in that situation, I would try to educate as best as I can. Like I would find information about ADD or like whatever the issue is, optic permanence, time blindness, executive dysfunction was a big one. Like it's like task management or like you need to do something, but you cannot make yourself do it. And it seems so easy. Oh, just do it, but sometimes there is that paralysis factor. But it would be trying to educate. But if someone is just unwilling to learn and just like, I don't care, just suck it up, just do it. If that were a boss, I would find another job, which fortunately that hasn't really been an issue as of late. Yeah, which we can wait on that unless you want me to segue into that or
we're gonna get to that very really shortly.
okay.
So all right. So I was just wondering because I mean I know how I'm probably as neurotypical as they come, right?
Indeed.
Not that some of the things I deal with are similar to what you deal with, only I have a plan for it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing is like we don't usually remember the plan. What Stephanie likes to say is we could take over the world if we could only remember the plan.
See, I've got the plan.
You've got the plan. So we literally like, I just got to tell you guys, and I'm sure you guys have been in this position if you've been following Mary for very long. We will literally be like, what is it? WWMD. What would Mary do?
Okay.
Like,
Really?
we should make a shirt. I need to tell Stephanie. She does all the t-shirt designs on like Teespring where you can go on and like order things. And I'm going to tell her we need a WWMD.
Okay.
How would you feel if like we all just like 5 people wearing that shirt just come up to you at a trade show? I feel like that'd be pretty cool.
You know what? It'd be pretty funny. I would probably laugh, take pictures and that sort of thing.
I love it.
So anyway, okay. So let me know if you're going to do that though. Okay.
I will. I'll let you know. No, I'm going to tell Stephanie like right after this.
Because years and years ago, I had WWDD. What would Daryl do? Daryl Connor.
Oh, yeah. It's just passing down a generation, which I don't necessarily mean age, but like.
Oh, that's okay. Listen, all I heard, my birthday was a couple of days ago and I turned 62, which theoretically I can apply for Social Security now, which I'm not. Yeah, I know, right?
I don't believe it though. Like I just don't believe it.
All day yesterday, and then everywhere we went, and this was like my husband, like, don't forget to ask for your senior citizen discount.
Shut up! Don't say those words.
You know, I'm like, you are going to. You know what? All I need is a jury of my peers, which would be 60-plus-year-old women. Okay, yeah, I killed him because he kept telling me to get the senior discount, and they'd be like, justifiable,
like acquitted. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, all right, where were we?
Okay.
Back to topic.
Yes. See, I need that. That's exactly what I need is someone to keep me on topic because the rabbit holes I go down. Anyways, go ahead.
All right. So now that what do you like about teaching? So we're talking about like, moving into other careers that are less physical than grooming.
Yeah.
Why did you want to do teaching?
I have always liked teaching people. I did some tutoring in school, and I in high school in like junior, senior year, I was in a gifted independent study where you could, most people opted to leave the school and go do it in another career. You basically got to go, not intern's not the right word, but you didn't really work, but you got to see like the inner workings. Like some people would go to a restaurant. an engineer, a doctor's office, and you kind of got to see what was going on in that career and learn more about it. So you kind of knew what you wanted to do afterwards, I guess. It was really cool. I stuck around and I interned with my French teacher. So I actually got to teach like 3 levels underneath the class I was in because I took AP French. I love French. Come talk French to me. Or maybe don't because my listening skills are not the greatest. And I taught like year 2 French and it was amazing. I think I might have kicked off. Okay. It was amazing. I got to develop lesson plans and teach, and seeing things click for people is like the best little burst of dopamine.
Okay.
To just like have been able to bring them to that understanding. And yeah, and like some of the other things that I'm starting to really pick up on teaching, I just think are super important things to know. And I am excited to be able to bring that knowledge to more people.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Okay, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. And we're back. All right, so that's just so I have the break to put the actual.
No, I get it. We mute ourselves because we can't straight face at each other, and yeah.
Okay, so all right, so one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on today was that your lifestyle. Let's put it that way. Ooh,
yes, right? My lifestyle. That makes it sound so raunchy.
Yeah.
I don't.
Let's talk about Meg's lifestyle right now.
Okay. Okay.
So I remember when you started talking about it, you know?
Well, yeah, even on our last episode, I like mentioned doing it in a couple of years, I think.
Yep. So tell us about it. Let's start there.
Okay. So when we started talking about it, we were like, okay, 5 years from now. And then it was 3 to 5. And then it was 2 to 3. And then it was like, maybe another year or 2. And then we get to like January of this year, actually 2023. And we're like, okay, we just got to hold out, 1 more year. Let's do it next summer. That gives us like over a year to plan. Like I like to research and plan and be prepared and know what I'm getting into, maybe save some money. Then our rent increase letter came out and I realized that a year of rent was going to be over $35,000. Bear in mind, we had a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment, but we're also in Northwest Washington and like an hour outside of Seattle. So it's just very spendy. And I couldn't see myself doing the job I was in for another year. I was to the point where I dreaded going to work and I didn't want to do that anymore. That's a whole nother thing. But I was like, okay, between the money and, I was like, how do I save money if I'm spending $35,000 in a year on lodging? So we were just like, you know what? By about May, I think, and with our lease being up June 30th, we were like, let's just do it. Let's just do it. So we just did it. So we took the back seats out of my car. I have a Hyundai Santa Fe, so it's kind of like a mid-size SUV. Took out the back seats, had a wooden platform built. I'm realizing I never actually said what I'm doing. So you guys are learning as I say it. We live on the road now. We live out of my SUV. We have the wooden platform in the back that elevates the bed, gives us storage underneath. We have like a storage bag on top. So everything that we own is in our vehicle or on top of the vehicle, but like we drive around our entire lives now. It's actually been really nice. I now prefer to sleep in my car on that sleeping mat, even when I'm in a house with a nice bed. I like the security of being in my car. I like it. I love the fact that we can just if it's just anywhere we can park, we can just park and sleep and we're fine. We're self-sufficient for the most part. We love staying at rest areas because nice bathrooms. Bathrooms are a plus. But we've also had a lot of friends and family that have allowed us to kind of, stay a night or two, or like where I am now, we're able to stay for like 5 days out of the week. So that's really cool. If we are not staying at someone's house, you might be asking, Aren't you stinky? How do you shower? Okay, so Planet Fitness, their Black Card membership, it's like $25 a month per person, and it is 100% worth it. I can go to any Planet Fitness. Their showers are really nice. There's good water pressure. It's hot. Um, yeah, they're really nice showers. And if I feel like working out, which is almost never, I can do that. And then they also have massage chairs and hydro massage lounges. So I can literally go in, take a shower, get a massage, and leave. I think that's worth $25 a month, in my own opinion. Um, I that's what we're doing.
I agree with that. I think $25 a month per person is
Yeah,
not a bad deal.
yeah. So of course, how are we financing this? I am doing grooming. Any of you are following me, you know that I am now on like my business pages. I am Meg the Traveling Groomer, and I am setting up these like guest spots at my friends' salons. I've done one in southern Wisconsin, close to Stephanie and Racine. I have now worked at Marky James Salon, and I'm going back to both of those salons next year. And I am currently at my friend's cat exclusive salon in northern Orlando right now. So I'm in Florida for the winter. I'm snowbirding. It got to like 87 degrees today. I was like, this is why I left Florida. This is too much.
Yeah, it's been getting a little chilly here at night.
I bet.
Now, I'm from the Northeast. Okay,
That's true. That's true. So that's like mildly chilly.
it's cool, is what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It's not. It's chilly because I've been here for 4 years, so I'm starting to get acclimated to the weather.
Yeah.
But you know
Absolutely.
what? And to be really, really real, it's not that cold.
Yeah, you're like, I've seen worse. I've
Yeah.
seen way worse. Um, but yeah, so and now I'm kind of incorporating teaching a bit more into that because while I do really enjoy grooming, I am realizing that I don't need to bust my butt every time I stop to groom somewhere. Um, so like you said, the teaching, I'm doing pet CPR classes, that's seemingly taking off, which is fabulous. Going to different shows and teaching, the trade shows. There we go. And then just doing webinars and stuff like through Positive Educational Training, the monthly summit, and then through the Meditative Groomer Academy. So it's a couple different avenues there. I'm exploring a couple other options, but I've got a lot of spinning plates right now. Because yeah, if you guys didn't know also too, I am also a member of the Washington Association of Professional Pet Groomers Board. And we're trying to really get that going. So if you have a state association, you should go check them out. And if
Yeah.
you're in Washington, you should come help us out.
So some really good, just speaking on associations, some really good associations that are doing it well. Okay. California is the grandmother of all of us.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Washington's doing a good job. Virginia, New Jersey, Ohio is doing great.
Oh yeah. No, Denise and them, they're doing great.
So there's a lot, if you're interested in getting an association set up in your state, there's a lot of options out there to talk to somebody and say, hey, at least point me in the right direction.
Right. Exactly.
All right. So one of the things, because I know we talked last week, I was wondering how you get paid.
Oh, yes. Okay. So one of my criteria when I go to a salon, first of all, I don't want to answer the phones. I would prefer to not have to talk to people, but I will check in and check out if I need to. But it's super ideal if I don't have to do any of that. But also one of my criteria is being a W-2 employee because I don't want to have to try to carry my own insurance all over the country because I don't even know how that works. And I don't want to worry about like injuring myself. I don't have health insurance. So like I want that workers' comp. So if something, because we do have a dangerous career, whether it's going to be the animal or me stabbing myself with my shears, that's what happens more is me cutting my own fingers. Never to the point of needing a doctor, but like the day is still young. My life is still young. Like it can happen. But yeah, no, so I do W-2. So tax time, I will let you know how that goes because I'm going to have like 3. I'll have 3 W-2s this year, but it's likely I'll have 5 to 6 a year depending on how many like guest
All
spots
right.
that
So
I
I'm
do.
just a little piece of advice. Make
Hmm.
sure you get your W-2s because
Yeah,
it's
no,
going to be easy to forget them.
right,
That happened to us one year. My husband used to work for the Department of Parks. It was a job he got when he was 16, and it was a summer job. And he still did the job while we were married, but then it was getting to the point that he didn't really need it anymore. So he
right.
worked like, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks, and said, like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing this anymore. And then when it came time to do the taxes, we didn't get the W-2 and we
Uh-oh.
forgot about it.
And the IRS don't like that.
Oh, yeah, no. The IRS is, oh, hey, by the way,
How do you account for this income from these 2 weeks?
guess what? The fines and the late fees and all of that just ate.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah, that was a very expensive lesson. And honestly,
yeah.
truly, we never forget to do that again. So I just like, if you're traveling, you make a little note that
Stay
you
on top of it.
stay on top and make sure you get your W-2s, because when the accountant, so this is what happens. So I have
Yeah.
um, the employer is supposed to give it and send it to the employee. All right. So in
Right.
your case, it's going to be mailed somewhere.
Hmm. I have a home address. Every owner has it.
Okay. But the mail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something might happen.
Because she's going to give a copy of the W-2 to or whatever the form to their
Hmm. Hmm.
accountant. And they're going to say, oh, yeah, we paid this. So,
Right.
the IRS looks for discrepancies.
Of course. But yeah, no, it's going to be, I do have a friend in Washington who is letting me for like the super important stuff, sending to her. So I don't have to rely on any sort of forwarding, like mail forwarding system. It just goes directly to her. And everywhere I've worked has that address. And when we get to like January 2nd, probably I'll let them have New Year's Day. I am sending a message to everyone reconfirming they have the address. And if it's anything that can be sent virtually, then that's even better.
Oh, yeah, virtually is better. I love
Hmm.
sending things
Hmm.
virtually. Here's your
Hmm.
copy.
Yeah, exactly.
Download it. They get it immediately and they don't have to worry about it.
Exactly.
My taxes, and only because now my accountant is in New York and I'm still here in Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Sending things electronically is really good.
Because then you know it's getting there versus
You know,
having to like it like snail mail.
yep. Okay, so and one of the things I had noticed
Yeah.
pretty early on was how happy you looked.
Yeah. I'm glad you said it. It makes me happy to know that like I guess the external validation, um, a lot of that was leaving a bad situation, an unhealthy situation, and knowing that even if I ended up not being a good fit at any of these salons, knowing that, okay, I've only committed myself for 6 weeks, six or
Mm-hmm.
8 weeks. 6 or 8 weeks is like my ideal um, length of time. Like, it doesn't matter if it ends up not being a good fit because I don't have to worry about quitting. Like, the expectation is I'm only here temporarily. This is when I'm leaving. It doesn't matter. I'm not
Right.
tied anywhere. Because I moved from Northern Virginia to Central Florida and we kind of just got rid of everything and moved. And then when we moved from Florida to Washington, we literally only went with what fit in our two cars. So and I think that gave me the travel bug and going to the different trade shows. So I would get like bogged down, maybe not even actually bogged down, but it felt like it. It felt like I was just doing the same thing day in and day out, and I was stuck. I'm tied to a lease, I'm tied to a job. I don't know. I feel like this is more me right now. Me, I have no idea how long it's gonna last. That's a question I get a lot. You guys doing this for a year and then settling, or do you know when you're gonna settle down? I'm like, right now, that's not even like a blink at the edge of my vision. Like that's not even, we're going to do it for as long as we want to do it. And right now we are loving it. We're able to visit people that normally we'd have to like take time off work. Now I can work it in. We literally, going from Washington to Wisconsin, we drove through Yellowstone National Park. We drove through the Badlands. Like we saw Niagara Falls. We're going to be stopping by the Grand Canyon, heading over to California in February. So yes, so sorry. Yes, happy, very.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. So
Yeah.
what might be advice that you would give somebody who might be thinking about doing this? Because one thing I will say that just like anything, it may not be for everyone.
Exactly. You have to be okay. The amount of gas station bathrooms I have used, guys, like you cannot be a germaphobe and do this unless you're able to get like directly into a camper van and have your own bathroom situation kind of thing. You have to be okay with not always knowing where you're sleeping. That can be kind of stressful. I still am a pretty anxious person, but my anxiety plummeted as soon as I started doing this. It still flares up. I still have things that really get me going. I used to be really bad with like change. So if you like having a set routine, this is probably not, I kind of get into a routine if I'm at a place for long enough, but then everything changes. And if we're traveling, everything's changing every day. There's really no routine. So if you need routines, this might not be the best. But I was someone who like, I couldn't make a routine, but I liked knowing what was happening, what I was doing, where I was sleeping, knowing I had a bathroom in the house. Like Mary was saying earlier, like she likes having a nice shower. She knows there's hot water. She's got the creature comforts. And what has been helpful, I'm not really good if I set a plan and then last minute something changes. It really throws me off. But doing this has helped me kind of get more used to that and be less like, oh my God, my world is ending because I can't do this right now. Like I can't do what I plan to do because the plans change for us all the time. Sometimes somewhere that I found that we could stay turns out don't allow overnight parking and it wasn't updated on the website. Or we go somewhere and it says nothing about whether dogs are allowed and is like an outside thing, but then they don't allow dogs. And yes, you can do this with dogs. We are traveling around with Duke and Duchess, my two Chihuahua things. So it is possible. It would not be possible. Well, it would not be very comfortable if I had bigger dogs, because they are so small. They very easily wedge in like between us when we're sleeping, or they sit in the front seats and sleep. But yeah, so that's another like filter I have to worry about is whether we could go there with the dogs. So,
okay. So a couple of other questions. Meals. I mean, because you don't have how do meals work?
So I'll tell you ideally how they would work and then realistically what we've been doing. So we have a camper stove. We have like a double burner with like the wind guards and everything that run off a thing of propane. I bought like a whole like cooking kit. So I have like pots and pans and stuff that all like collapse in on each other, the foldable spatula and ladle. I have all the things. So the idea would be we would get food and then we would cook food, but I didn't cook even in an apartment with all the creature comforts of a full kitchen. So I'm not really sure why I thought that being on the road and having less resources would make me all of a sudden turn into a cook. Wishful thinking, I guess. But also, we don't have refrigeration right now. We did have a really nice big cooler, but I found out very quickly I can't stand having to buy ice, having to make sure things don't get too wet, like if they're in the wrong kind of packaging, and then having to dump the ice and then buy ice again and then worry about finding ice. So a cooler isn't going to work for me. The plan is to I can't think of the brand name, but Stephanie turned me on to these. They're plug-in car coolers. They don't require any ice. They have like the little plug to go in the cigarette lighter. And then they also have like a regular standard wall plug. And as long as the car is on or it's plugged in, it's running and it can go many hours without being plugged into something, as long as you're not like constantly opening and shutting it. So we don't really have anything. Oh, yeah.
I had one of those little refrigerators for my mobile grooming van.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So that's what we're going to be looking into, so it can fit. So without having things with refrigeration, everything that we get doesn't need to be refrigerated. It's shelf stable, so we don't really have anything that needs to be cooked. Although it would be pretty simple to just like if we know we're going to be somewhere for a day, we can get like, I don't know, like a hamburger helper and grab like a pound of meat and then just cook it like pretty immediately. But we just haven't. So we do a lot of protein bars, a lot of peanut butter sandwiches, um, and gas station food. We like Subway. Subway often has a buy one, get one free or buy one, get one half off coupon. And Little Caesars has come in clutch because at least where we were in North Carolina, for $8, I could get an entire like a large Hawaiian pizza. That's 4 pieces for the both of us, for each of us, and that's plenty of food. So that was like the cheapest way to feed us. So realistically, it is more eating out than I would like, but I also don't guilt myself very much for it because I know I don't have like everything set up. Now, when we get into a trailer or a camper van, then we will have a fridge that runs on an inverter and like all the things. We'll have a little bit more to work with. But also too, like right now, we're staying at a house for like 5 nights out of the week. So I have a huge, very nice kitchen. I haven't really been using it because again, I'm not just gonna turn it into a cook as much as I really wish I could. Um, but they've been feeding us. So like we, it's been working out. I haven't like I got muscles. I'm still, I'm not starving, that's for sure.
All right. And what about any safety concerns for being on the road all the time?
Yes. Okay. So I don't know if I could do this without Joe, my husband Joe, because I don't like being in public by myself. I get really heebie-jeebie, like I could not go for a walk like on a trail by myself. There are certain things I just can't bring myself to do. So knowing that I have him, and for those of you who have never seen Joe, he's like a big, like bearded biker looking guy. Um, he's sweet as hell. Like he's not a mean guy, but like he looks intimidating if you don't know him. So I feel very safe with him by me. And then also too, Duchess is not going to let anyone touch the car. If someone just like parks beside us and gets out, she's already like and like getting ready to scream at them. So like I have my built-in alarm systems. And then like I said, we do a lot of rest areas because they're well lit. They're usually the bigger ones, at least, they usually have an attendant. Like in North Carolina, we exclusively stayed at a rest area, like the same one every night. And we ended up being pretty close friends with like, it was this older man. He had so many stories to tell me about. He used to camp in the woods for weeks at a time and he'd like jump trains across the country when he was young. He was a trip. But towards the end there, he was bringing us food. He was like literally like his wife was cooking food and he would bring us like little to-go containers of food. So it's helping me get out of my shell, I think, to be on the road because I'm talking to more people. But safety wise, it's just if we end up somewhere not very safe, or like if I can't get comfortable or it's got my gut going, because it's like, we move. We just go to the next place.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, what words of wisdom do you have for people?
In general?
In general, or maybe they're thinking about doing this.
Well, I will say, because of how many people have been asking me about it and asking me to blog or vlog or whatever they want to watch, I definitely think I want to make a class about this. And I do want to blog. I do want to blog about our travels, but I'm definitely thinking that there's a market and interest and demand for a class about how to get started doing this and how it works for me. So it's not my words of wisdom, but it is what I live by. So Stephanie Calhoun of the Meditative Groomer Academy and Groomer on the Spectrum and Grooming on the Spectrum, there we go. I was talking about I think she told me before we did it, before we actually started living on the road. And I was kind of like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm not ready. I haven't prepared enough. I haven't researched enough. Like I don't have every second planned out. And I forget the entire saying, to be honest with you, but the crux of it was do it scared. And that's it. Do it scared. Like you can be afraid of doing something, but don't let it stop you from doing it. Just do it scared. And that is how I taught my first in-person class at Tacoma of 2023. Because I was just, I don't know, I did it. I just did it. I hated every second of my life leading up to it and through it, but I did it and I was fine. So just do it scared. 3 words, very hard to forget. Do it scared. That's mic drop.
So, Meg, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for interviewing me. It's very flattering to be asked to speak. So,
well, I'm actually really very impressed with what you're doing.
oh, thank you. That's literally like I'm gonna frame those words now. That's how much that means to me.
Just let me know if you get the t-shirts.
Oh yes. Oh no, I'm still texting. I'm gonna text Stephanie.
Okay. All right. So everybody join us next week when I interview someone else making a huge difference in our pet industry.